Alright, so Inside is the second game Playdead's developed after Limbo, and they really decided to not make the story as simple. Not only that, they decided, hey, let's develop a very visually pleasing and detailed puzzle platformer. Spoiler warning. Similar to Limbo, it starts off in a forest, and a little boy in a red shirt appears. I'll call him the protagonist because that's who he is and it sounds cool. One aspect of this game that impressed me, and is such a small detail, is when the boy is running from something, you not only speed up, but his body movements seem so natural, and you can even hear him start to breathe quickly. It's one of the many examples of how detailed this game is, in the way how the world interacts with each other. It's a very lively world considering this game is about mass control. We get our first look into what could possibly be going on here. There appears to be a truck with quite a few empty looking people inside and a guy in black. Now, I don't know about y'all, but I can think of several reasons as to what this could be. Further in the forest, there are these pods or capsules that look like they were once hooked up to something above, as well as guards that look like they were either patrolling or investigating. Now, my biggest question is, what are these things hooked up to, or is it just a pipe? Now that I think about it, these could be chambers where people get knocked out by some gas. When you're being chased by a guard and you're running, quick tip, jump over the tree branch because you'll trip otherwise. That's another small detail that could be easily missed, and just for that, I applaud it. So what's going on so far? There are these guards that seem to be patrolling for people since they got a whole truck of them. Or what if they're searching for the protagonist? These guards also got what are called wolves, or as I like to call them, bitch-ass dogs. They're afraid of fire. The forest part of the game really gave me the vibe of I'm on the run and these guys are gunning for me. Like this right here with the protagonist in the middle of the stream and looking afar on a bridge, there's a guard flashing at him. This is also an example of what I mean by visually pleasing. Like I want to screenshot this and hang it up on my wall like a piece of art. And there are many other examples like this in the game that I'll mention later. After swimming across a pond and being disturbed by the dead pigs on the shore, we arrive at what seems to be a farm. I mean, there's dead pigs, a cornfield, and farm-like buildings. Aww, cute little chicks. Keep in mind that this is my second playthrough, but yet I was expecting the chicks to be brutally killed. Nope, they kindly helped knock the hellbell over. Such kind little chicks. A wagon full of dead pigs. And more dead pigs lying around. Let's back up to this, okay? Doesn't the sound of the machine that looks to be an antique sound satisfying to you guys? Sure as hell does for me. Oh shit, one of them is alive. Yeah, let's drag this pig against its will so we can use this plunger mind controlling device. Another example of let me screenshot this to hang on my wall later. We're out of the farm and right next to a big ass fucking wall. And more people who are under control lined up ready to go inside. I think it is safe to assume that the farm was probably used at some earlier point for these mind control experiments. Maybe likely that the pigs were used before humans, or the pigs died because there are no longer any self-aware people around. I'm leaning towards the latter rather than the former, assuming this is at least a countrywide or even a global thing. Doesn't really make sense that they would use a random farm, but then again, who knows? Sneaking inside, get it? Inside, like the title of the game. It turns out what is inside this big fucking wall is a run-down city, it seems. I mean, the protagonist is sneaking around on the rooftops and alleyways. If that ain't the most dystopian, disturbing type thing I've ever seen. They're all walking in sync but look brain dead. Ah, fuck! For a good minute, I didn't know how to solve this. At first, I thought I had to time the light to give me enough to open the elevator, but it would take too long. I was like, how the fuck? Oh, just turn off the robots, go open the elevator, go back to power on the robots, because that also powered the elevator for some reason, then time it and hop on. This is slow. I was very nervous here since I didn't really know how strict the moving camera or whatever it is was going to be because I was not in sync at all. Like, how did these guys not notice something was off about the protagonist? Oh, hell yeah. These puzzles where you have to control other people's like discovering a new dimension. It allows for more creativity in the puzzles since it's not limited to only the protagonist doing the work. And the protagonist is strong enough to drag a pallet while swimming. And he looks no older than 10. Oh, and just a train casually hauling away a lot of people. I don't know why I genuinely thought that the wolves couldn't swim. Wow, that is gory. Sometimes when you die, whether it be from wolves, guards, or any other contraptions, it's gory. But that fits in well with the overall theme of this game. Inside is a dark game with a lot of dark themes, and it appears it doesn't necessarily hold back in this aspect. Tricking the wolves by climbing the fence back and forth was something I struggled at a bit, since if you run towards the fence too late, they will catch up to you, and they're smart. They'll notice if you jump the fence early and run back towards you. In terms of the story and what's going on here, the wolves are obviously trained, but I wonder how they train them to go after people who aren't under control. What if the wolves themselves are under control? What if the wolves only chase after the protagonist? What if the protagonist escaped and ran away? Anyone remember the song The Yellow Submarine? Another example of let me screenshot this to hang on my wall later. Exploring the depths was one of my favorite parts of the game. Controlling the sub is satisfying. It gave me an eerie feeling since it was kind of dark and the only bright light was from the submarine. I was always on my toes because I remember a mermaid creature showing up at some point. They work similar to boos from Mario. If you shine your light at them, they'll back up, but will approach the moment you look the other way. I don't know exactly what we are traversing through. Some parts make me think that it's an old laboratory used by whichever organization is the one behind all this. Some parts look like the sewer system, but even that seems a bit far-fetched. Whatever it may be, it looks like it was like that for a long time. But I definitely think it's an old laboratory that was once used to create these mermaids, or the mermaids was one of many experiments. We also see the same pods from the forest part in the beginning of the game, but they look overgrown, so they haven't been in use for some time now. After going through the depths, we arrive at an island or somewhere on the other side of a lake or something. And there's a big-ass building. I mean, what is the protagonist up to? You like my hat? This puzzle where you gather enough people for the pressure plate felt wholesome in a way. It didn't feel lonely. Like I had a bunch of people supporting me, helping me. I really like that, even though the protagonist was in control of them. This one doesn't appear to be alive at all, though. You think you won't be able to make it in time before the shockwave, but you'd be surprised by how fast the protagonist can run. The shockwave seems to also work as some sort of EMP since it affects the devices for a sec or two. The sound that is played during this sounds very angelic. Damn! Yeah, this feels wrong. Yeah, let's just pass it. Oh fuck. Oh shit. Oh shit, oh shit, oh shit. This part we're basically going back and forth with the mermaid so we can escape the other side and close the door on it. But not too long afterwards, you'll think you're safe until you see the protagonist being dragged all the way down to a very, very deep body of water. You can't do anything here. You're forced to watch it happen. Yeah, big shock. He ends up drowning, but the mermaid plugged him into the server. So he's under control now. This scene where he's descending to the bottom and the fish surrounding him kind of left me speechless. I mean, he's got to be dead, right? Even if his body's alive due to being under control, he's just another lifeless person like the rest of them. But was he always under control? I mean, we control his movements. We are the player. Also, why are the fish huddling around him? Are they being controlled? Do they sense he is dead? Or are they just very curious about what the hell is this all the way down here? A lot to think about. Anyway, the protagonist gains the ability to breathe underwater. That or he's just dead, and whoever's controlling him has full control over his body. Swimming through here basically confirms that this is an old laboratory of some sort, or at least a part of it that for some reason is underwater and the little fishies are following us. Oh, that one moved. Why is there a child here? Also, that is one powerful small forklift. I mean, to be able to lift up a wide-ass cage with people inside is insane. And these people are naked and a little deformed. Okay, so clearly the protagonist is in the main lab, it seems, or at least one that is being used currently if there are other locations. We also see here that down below there are people running towards another building, and the protagonist seems very curious. The protagonist also runs inside, and there's a lot to notice. For one, there's a Wendigo-shaped whatever the fuck that is. A camera so they're recording these experiments, and rows of chairs for certain people, I bet, to be showcased these experiments. More and more I'm realizing this is a dystopian society. We approach another enclosure like it's a fucking zoo, and a bunch of people who obviously work there are all looking inside. Of course, we look inside, but we can't see what is inside yet. I find it bizarre, though, that they noticed the protagonist, a literal child, and thought nothing of it. Maybe because what they're looking at is a fucking abomination. protagonist sneaks in the enclosure, but as he sneaks in, his clothes are ripped off, and what do the scientists do? Nothing. Like it's a regular Tuesday. The protagonist releases the blob, but in doing so is dragged in, becoming one with the blob. The blob breaks free, and the screams of terror of the people there added a bit more realism to the situation. Like finally, they show emotion about something. And this part of the game where the blob tries to escape the facility is so fun. It's literally a monster escaping from captivity, causing mayhem, breaking through glass, walls, roofs, running through the cafeteria, stomping on people. Just some good old genuine fun. What's interesting is that the people are scared, which makes sense, but from a safe distance they all look at it with curiosity. They even help the thing, whether it be out of safety or let's see what it does. They clearly know that the blob is intelligent. I mean, it's made out of multiple people. The blob manages to escape, rolls down a hill, and ends up on the shore by the lake. The end. That's the main game. There is a secret ending where you have to find and deactivate 13 orbs, then head back to the cornfield, find the hatch, go inside where the second orb was, head to the right, then you have to replicate the same noise sequence, moving the lever like it's a cheat code. Left, 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 up, right, left, right, right, up, right. This will open the door and lead to a room with a bunch of cables, computers, and a mind control device. If you pull the plug, it will turn off the mind control device and trigger the secret ending. The secret ending is the protagonist being freed from control and entering a state very similar to the rest of the mindless people. Both endings can be interpreted as being free from control, the blob escaping captivity, and the protagonist pulling the plug. Both endings were truly shocking to me, especially the fucking blob. Now, the story as a whole, well, it's a lot, but the main theme that is always present is control. In the end, we can kinda assume that the protagonist's goal was to free the blob, or at the very least, that was his goal when he drowned and got plugged into the server by the mermaid. Was he always under control? Yes and no. Yes, because the secret ending breaks the fourth wall, in a sense that pulling the plug can be interpreted as freeing him from us, the player. So he was always under control since the beginning, by us. But no, in the sense, I think there was no other external being controlling him, not including us, until he got plugged into the server. This game made me think, ask questions, and had me in awe the entire time. And for that, I recommend you all to play this like how I was recommended this game in Limbo by my friend. Quick thing I want to mention. So far, Playdead has gone 2 for 2 for their games, both Inside and Limbo, and they're working on the third, and I'm very much looking forward to it. Alright, bye.